I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you're looking for ransom, I can tell you that I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I have acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
Fair warning, this show contains strong language and adult themes from time to time. Sorry, Jerry can't help it.
Sick Boy Wolfgang Productions presents The Offering with Jerry Horror. A deep dive into the history of film and its filmmakers. Mostly horror, always genre.
Matthew 5:38. You have heard that it was said, eye for eye, and tooth for tooth. But I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to them the other cheek also. Ladies and gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, this is The Offering with your host, me, Jerry Horror. Everyone kept saying to me, you're doing a St. Patrick's Day special. No, nobody actually said that. Believe it or not, no one gives a shit. But I'm glad you're here, so thank you for that. With that being said, every person who came to me kept saying, are you going to do Leprechaun for the St. Patrick's Day special? And the answer is no. Why am I not doing Leprechaun? Well, listen, we've got more pressing matters to deal with. That's number one. But number two, the reason we're not doing Leprechaun is because it's been done to death. How Did This Get Made did it. Dead Meat has done it. We Hate Movies has done it. And I think those are some of the finest podcasts that are out there doing what they do. And I don't want to just be another blip. I don't want to do fucking Leprechaun. Yes, we all know about Leprechaun, all right? We're fine, okay? Listen, I understand. Warwick Davis needs money too. No shade. I decided that if we were going to do a St. Patrick's Day special, it would only be proper to do a special about Liam Neeson, who, if you don't know, is the pride of Ireland. He is also an Irishman and an actor. He might be one of the greatest actors of his generation, and that's why I think he's so good. But let me get into it, folks. This is The Offering. I'm Jerry Horror, and this is the St. Patrick's Day Spectacular. Who is Liam Neeson? Well, he's been called one of the greatest actors of his generation. And he's been working with the industry what seems like the last 5 decades. It's really incredible when you look at his filmography. And let me preface this by saying we're covering a specific trajectory of his career today. It would be so hard to encapsulate Liam Neeson's filmography, his au revoir, if you want to call it. I probably said it wrong. Producer Pete's going to say, it's not au revoir, it's something else. But you know what? I'm an uncultured guy from New York, so that's what you get. Happy St. Patty's Day. Look, it's one of these things that you look at the broad spectrum of all the films he's done. He's been a Jedi. He's been a priest. He's been everything. He's been in, like Love Actually, which has become this huge Christmas film. He's in everything, okay? He's in Ted. Wait, no, I think he's in Ted 2. He's in Ted 2. Ted 2 is great. You should watch it. There's a ridiculous scene. It's getting away from me right now, but just hear me out, folks. His career is gigantic. It's titanic. There's no way to possibly do it. But there was a strange thing that occurred in the late aughts, but we'll get to that. Liam Neeson was born June 7th, 1952 in Northern Ireland, which has a cool and rainy climate. Church attendance is high, and the focus is on family and family values. It's a very traditional part of Ireland, and it's just as beautiful as it sounds. Now, Most recently, Liam Neeson made a movie called In the Land of Saints and Sinners, which is more of a dramatic piece, but it was all shot in Ireland. We'll get to that later. Really, again, you want to see some fantastic cinematography and Northern Ireland. It's really a gorgeous film to look at. The Scots-Irish, those of Scottish descent, obviously are the majority of the citizens in Northern Ireland. Northern Irish people they're famed and known for their great wit and their dark sense of humor. The Northern Irish humor is strongly associated with the ability to laugh at oneself in a natural way that is never forced or, often unexpected. It's taken a piss, as they would say. Now, okay, listen, because some of you might give a shit. June 7th, which is Liam Neeson's birthday, makes him a Gemini. And as you know, Geminis are playful, intellectually curious. Gemini is constantly juggling a variety of passions, hobbies, careers, and friend groups. So listen, if you're into Liam Neeson and you're looking to see if you guys are a match, he's a Gemini. Liam Neeson has always had a love for boxing. When he was a young man, he used to go to the boxing gym all the time. It was really just a part of his upbringing in Northern Ireland. And he thought for a long time he was going to be a boxer. He figured one day he would be the next Jack Dempsey. Fortunately, I think it worked out in his favor because he decided, you know what? I don't want to be a boxer anymore. I'm going to be an actor. Now, I just want to state this for the record. There's what we call presence, okay? When you walk into a room, what kind of aura do you project? And a lot of that is said with body language, but also the shape and sculpture of your body. Liam Neeson stands 6'4". He's usually 225 to 235 on average. He's a big fucking guy. That's a big drink of water any way you slice it. More importantly, like any good player, we got to go through the stats. He's been nominated a number of times for Oscars. He's won 3 Golden Globe Awards. He's won 2 Tonys. He's been nominated, but he didn't win a Saturn Award for his portrayal of Jedi Qui-Gon Jinn. And we'll get to that. We'll get to the Phantom Menace of it all, I promise you. Liam Neeson didn't start officially acting until 1976. He does some of these little movies, but nothing crazy, some Irish productions. But it's 1981 because he stars in John Borman's Excalibur. And this becomes a big breakout role because now everybody's saying, who's that young Irish guy? He's a tall drink of water. Let's go through it. We're going to bang them out quick here, folks. Feature films, 102. Which isn't accurate because he keeps making movies, and as we get through this episode, I'm going to tell you, he's making, okay, listen, I'm breaking it. I don't care. We started doing this special. We were writing it within 48 hours of us doing this St. Patrick's Day special. He's already making another movie. When we started, when we came up with the concept for this about a month ago, he had a new movie in theaters, which is on VOD now, which is Absolution. And since now that we're actually recording, taping, whatever you kids want to call this, he's already in production with another movie with Marissa Tomei. This guy doesn't stop. He can't miss. I swear to God, it's like he's got a fucking a dead man's thing, like a Fitbit, that if he stops making movies, he explodes. Listen, all right, relax, Jerry. He's done 102 feature films. He's done 31 television series. He's been a voice in over 4 different games. Of course, that PlayStation 1 banger, The Phantom Menace. You got to hear all that sweet dialogue from him and that Scottish punk. Liam Neeson's career is staggering. I mean, it's so gigantic because he's done so much. The guy doesn't stop working. And that's not the point of why we're here. I could probably do a 6-hour documentary about the man. He's had a very interesting life. And listen, if we're just counting straight revenge action films where Liam Neeson is the star, there's 21 of them, okay? And I'll tell you how I actually summed all of this up, because there's quite a bit of statistics here that you need to know before we jump in. Now, he's done 21 of these films. There's 3 more in production, which means that by the end of this year, it will be 24 action films. Now, this does not include films such as Clash of the Titans, A-Team, or Men in Black International. I will consider those genre films, but they're more ensemble pieces. You know, he's playing a secondary role. He's kind of the boss in Men in Black International, which is terrible, but somehow watchable. It's a great, like, I'm really fucked up and I need to lay on the couch and I might vomit. So you're looking for something to watch? Men in Black International. There's your film. Go get some Uber Eats and enjoy that cocktail. When we originally put this whole episode together, it was 21 films. Then it was 24. It might even be 25 or 26 by the time we're done recording this, okay? Because again, this man, you would think that he owed the Jewish mafia money. Seriously. I don't know what's going on. He can't seem like he's pressed for money. He's made 106 more movies than I've ever made, so there you go. Point being, these are straight action vehicles, okay? These 24, 25 films now, they generally feature Liam Neeson on the poster or on the 4K or on the streaming art with a gun. They're very simple, but I digress. So how did this happen? How did Liam Neeson, this guy, he's like 50-something years old, how did he become one of the biggest action stars in the world? And look, you can say whatever you want to say. You can make jokes, ha ha ha. But you know what? Liam Neeson is the most searched action star on Amazon Prime and on Netflix. People love his movies. I said to myself, when I started this whole thing, I'm like, who's watching these movies? There was the whole thing that Red Letter Media had come up with where they were talking about the Bruce Willis films, and these are way higher of quality than the Bruce Willis or the Steven Seagal films. You got a lot of people who turn up in these movies. Like I was surprised even the other night. I was watching Honest Thief, and the black hole of charisma that is Jai Courtney turned up as the villain. And he was just as terrible as he always is. Fuck you, Jai Courtney. You're a terrible actor. I think he's Australian. Who gives a shit? It's Jai Courtney. Anyway, as I was saying, look, he keeps doing these movies, and somebody's watching them. They've been called the geezer teasers, but this is not the case. Because here's the deal. I talked to an older man. He says to me, yes, I saw that last Liam Neeson movie. I asked a young guy at work yesterday, he's 22 years old. I said, did you see the one where he did this, pop it up? And he's like, yes, I've seen it. So everybody's watching these Liam Neeson movies. And for those of you who are, oh, you're too highbrow for them, guess what? Somehow you've sat there and you've watched a fourth, at least, of one of these movies. Because there's so many of them. I mean, we're talking from 2008 to 2025. 25 films now? Those are just the straight action films. That's not like the other stuff is. I don't even know if he's in the new Paddington. Paddington Goes to Peru with Liam Neeson? I don't know. Maybe. I'm drinking this. Look, this is what it is. For the people listening to the podcast, this is terrible. This is terrible podcasting. For YouTube, I'm thirsty. Don't use it. All of this starts in 2008 with a little film called Taken. Now, most people don't become action stars into their late 40s or early 50s. It just doesn't happen. The oldest, I think, was Steven Seagal in Above the Law, was 37 years old. And for a debut, it's apples to oranges, but you get what I'm saying. There's a well-worn territory here. And there's a similarity with Taken to Charles Bronson's Death Wish films. Bronson was also someone who people went to go see because they liked him. And most of the characters were essentially Paul Kersey, from the Death Wish films, but just in a different form. And once the mid-'80s hit, Charles Bronson was doing the same thing that Liam Neeson is now. I mean, Charles Bronson was always more of a tough guy actor, and I think he was very talented. Obviously, Liam Neeson has much more range, but there's also the comparison. There's three guys here. One is Charles Bronson, two is John Wayne, because the deal with John Wayne is whether he was a good actor or not, people went to go see the John Wayne movie, and it didn't matter who he was playing. Now, again, Bronson, you got John Wayne. Who's the third person? Steven Seagal, previous episode. Sick plug. Check it out. But what I'm trying to tell you here is that people went to go see Wayne. They saw Bronson. They saw Seagal. They didn't give a shit what character he was playing. They were there to see the actor do his thing. And now, shockingly, because again, everything is cyclical and it all comes full circle. Time is a circle? Perhaps. Jason Statham is following in Liam Neeson's footsteps with stuff like he's got The Beekeeper, and now he's doing this movie called The Working Man. There's a definite mold of the understated tough guy, or as the British would say, the hard man. And the hard man is always in complete control. He fears nothing, and he largely wants to be left alone. But he's not afraid to unleash hell in order to take care of business. Taken becomes Liam Neeson's biggest starring vehicle and the most profitable film of his career outside of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, for those keeping score at home. Yes, just so we're checking, he was a Jedi. Okay, I don't need your comments. But did you know? I don't give a shit about Darth Bane or this or but. Don't even at me, all right? I love Star Wars. We're not going to talk about it. We're not. Listen, there's things that are just off the table, and Star Wars is off the table in 2025. Sorry, not sorry. This film Taken was a French co-production, right? Famke Jensen was in this. Maggie Grace was in this. This was a Luc Besson movie who'd made the Professional. But Luc Besson decided, I'm not going to direct it. I got this guy, Pierre Morel. He's one of my proteges. He's going to direct it. But Luc Besson and Robert Mark Kamen did write the script. And what's so magical about this film? Liam Neeson plays a retired CIA operative from the Elite Special Activities Division. And he sets about tracking down his teenage daughter after she's kidnapped. Does this sound... Listen, this has been a John Wayne movie. This has been a Jason Statham movie. It's been a Charles Bronson movie. It's been a Steven Seagal movie. Hell, even Schwarzenegger did it a couple of times. But that's not the point. They cut this trailer, and this brilliant, brilliant trailer is Liam Neeson reacting to the news that his daughter has been kidnapped. And there is magic, absolute magic, where an actor is connecting with the public. Because right there, because he's so good, not because he's an action guy, but because he's a good actor. Take that away from this. Liam Neeson, regardless of what you think of his filmography, he is a great actor. And that is why Taken works, because in that scene, he sells it. I'm being called by these Turkish, can we call them terrorists? Criminals? Mafia? I don't know what they are. They're Turkish though. And look, we love the Turkish people. We love Turkish food, but for all intents and purposes, the Turkish are not portrayed very well in this Taken trilogy. Just saying. I didn't do it. I didn't make the movie. It was 2008. I don't know. Are we canceled? Who gives a shit? He's in complete fear because right now your daughter has been kidnapped. She's going to be sold into sex slavery. And listen, isn't that one of the tropes of these films? My baby daughter's been taken. I got to protect my baby daughter's virginity. Because those Turkish men are going to take her cherry. And that's what this is all about. Don't let anybody fucking kid you. That is what it is Liam Neeson. He's always, all these guys, they're protecting their teenage daughter's virginity. Oh my God, Commando with Alyssa Milano. She was young. Oh. Can we say this on YouTube? Can we say it? On the podcast, nobody gives a shit. This could be a fucking IRA manifesto.
They're Albanian.
Oh, they're Albanian. We had to take a moment. I was alerted by our director, George. He just came to me with some shocking news. The terrorists, kidnappers, crime lords, scumbags they're Albanians. Just like, what's his face? Action Bronson. He's an Albanian. Do you know who is Albanian too?
Dua Lipa.
Dua Lipa is Albanian. The Belushis were Albanian. John Cena, he's mostly Albanian. See? So, listen, this is not to disparage the good people of Albania, but fuck those Turkish people. Listen, he's protecting his baby daughter's cherry. That's what he does. That's what this movie's about. But he sells it. And the reason he sells it is because like, Liam Neeson always looks like he's afraid. And that's also, we're going to get into that. But he's like, oh my God, they've taken my daughter. But what he does is he delivers this ice cold monologue.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you are looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I have acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
And it's brilliant and it connects. And people are like, yo, when Liam Neeson finds those people, he's going to fuck them up. So we've gotten that promise. You know, he says, listen, and I like this character. I like this character he plays in these Taken films, Brian Mills, because the character is always like, hey, look, we can work this out. We can do this passively. He's like, please. He's almost begging these Albanian fucks, like, don't make me come down to Albania. Well, I think he goes to France in this movie. But until producer Pete comes in and he's like, no, it was Australia. And that's where Jai Courtney's from. So fuck those people. Fuck the Hemsworths. And anybody else. Rest in peace, Olivia Newton-John. Previous episode, Xanadu. Sick plug. Listen, Taken's a worldwide box office hit. It grossed $223.9 million worldwide, making almost $200 million more than its production market. Do you remember DVD? Do you remember Blu-ray? This movie cleaned up. They sold hundreds of thousands of copies of this on DVD and on Blu-ray. Oh my God, physical media. Keep it alive. That's how you make money on these movies. It's a fucking license to print money. There's always some lonely guy who's going through a divorce that will buy a fucking 4K steelbook of Lethal Weapon 2. I promise you. How do I know this? Because I'm that guy. Neeson said in interviews that he believed that Taken had put some people off the idea of actually traveling to Europe. Can you imagine that? Can you fucking imagine that? People are like, oh, I want to go to Europe. I really want to see, I want to go to fucking Denmark. Oh, honey, we can't go to fucking, did you see Taken? They're going to take our baby daughter's cherry if we go to fucking Denmark. It's not going to happen. They might fuck your daughter, though. I don't know how they get down. So that's on you. But more importantly, Taken brought Neeson back into the center of the public eye. And it resulted in him making piles of cash, but also being cast in more of big budget Hollywood movies. Because now everything has to be Taken, right? We got to do Brian Mills to death. We got to do Brian Mills to death, right? That's how this works. Well, sort of. We'll get to that. Really, what this had created was a market for more Liam Neeson projects. So every major Hollywood studio, Taken was a Fox movie. And this is the end of Fox before Disney buys them. And this was one of their last big action hits. I miss Fox because what I will say about 20th Century Fox was they took chances. They took chances on films like Star Wars, like Taken. See how that correlates? He was a Jedi. Go fuck yourself. All this success would come with great tragedy, though, because just in life, listen, this is you're sitting out there. Maybe you're an older person, you know what I'm talking about. But if you're a young buck, you're 18 years old and you're listening to this show, you don't know. You just wait. Life is about to throw you a whole bunch of fucking haymakers to the chest, to your ribs. Life will fuck you up, but you'll get there soon enough. You got the highest of highs, but you got the lowest of lows. And that's kind of, it's, as they say, the Irish say, it's Murphy's Law. March 18th, 2009, Liam Neeson's heart would be completely broken. His longtime wife, Natasha Richardson, she was 45 years old. She was flown to Lenox Hill Hospital in New York City, where she died 2 days later from an epidural hematoma. Her family issued a statement on the day of her death. Just heartbreaking. Liam Neeson, his sons, and the entire family, we are shocked and devastated by the tragic death of their beloved Natasha. Liam Neeson and his family would never be the same after the tragic passing. Even though he had been one of the, he's going through the biggest hit of his career, it's bittersweet. And Neeson has even gone on record saying that he needed something to channel his sadness and his rage. And that is where we find the magic of why this works. You have a man who's lost the love of his life. So now he has to channel that emotion. He's thinking about his kids. He's thinking about, what is the second act of my life look like? And what it becomes is a way for him to take those emotions and turn them into art. And that's why we can say these are dopey action films, but we should never undersell them. Are they genre films? Are they full of tropes? Yes, they are. But at the end of the day, people connect with them. They watch them. And I think largely this is why most of it works. There's a real sense of rage and sadness within this man. It was very similar to Bill Bixby's son and then wife, who both died from cancer. When I was a kid, I used to watch Bill Bixby on The Incredible Hulk. And I said to myself, there's just something emanating from the screen. There's something unspoken that this actor is giving me. And that truly is the art of acting, but also a very human trait to be able to convey those emotions in an unspoken way. And Bixby had that sadness about him. And that sorrow surrounds his version of Bruce Banner in the Incredible Hulk TV show. You might not know what these people are going through, but in some weird way, it translates well beyond the screen. Neeson needed this tragedy, this terrible tragedy, and he was able to fuel it into these action films, and that became the vehicle for him. Because he said at several points that these films have been therapeutic for him to make. And he's gone on record. Just firing guns and fighting people can be a lovely day. And I can't argue with that.
Who are you, old man? You killed my ex-wife. But you're not gonna kill my daughter.
Now, clearly, it shows on screen and it creates more of an emotional bond between the actor and his audience. So there is a buy-in and there is an emotional investment that occurs over time between the audience and the viewer. You are now invested in Liam Neeson, the person, not necessarily the character in the film. So, of course, you're going to take the ride and see where it takes him. Now, with all this bigwig box office, the success of Taken, of course, there's the inevitable sequel. But before we get to that, every studio in Hollywood wanted to be in the Liam Neeson business. Look, these movies, call them action vehicles, they make money. And at the end of the day, that's what Hollywood is. People always talk about this, and I say, look, show business. There's a lot more business than show sometimes, and that's unfortunate. But kids, we got a business to run, and business was booming for Liam Neeson. He was hot. People had a fever, had Liam Neeson fever. And look, I'll be honest with you. Every studio in Hollywood was like, we got to get a Liam Neeson vehicle. And this happened with Schwarzenegger, Van Damme, all those guys, where it was just like, we don't give a shit what the movie is. Get Liam Neeson in it and we'll figure out a marketing campaign. And early on, if you watch like the first 6 movies that are just action solo films with him, they're marketed very similar to Taken. There's almost this whole thing where it's like, okay, well, at this point, we're going to have the monologue, then we're going to have the cool action scene, then the cool song. I was watching one the other night. I believe it was the trailer for Blacklight. And in that one, they even use Phil Collins in The Air Tonight. And it works, because it's so cool. It's a great song, and it's Liam Neeson killing people to that song, and that's lovely. So the calls start coming in. Liam Neeson can write his ticket at any place, like Universal Studios. They were hot for him. They did nonstop with him. He was a hot and in-demand commodity. At a certain point, he tries to avoid doing these action revenge thrillers. But it's almost like a higher calling. It's like, some people get called to become a priest. Liam Neeson, the gods called to him and they said, hey, you got to do a bunch of action movies that are all kind of the same. But they work, and they're crowd pleasers, and there's nothing wrong with that. People always talk about guilty pleasures. I got to tell you, when I first took on this whole project, I said to myself, I'm like, this is fucking insane. I've watched so many Liam Neeson movies in the last few months, and it's been mind-numbing. This is something that started 6 months ago. I don't even know what's wrong with me at this point. But I will say this, and I'm saying this with a straight face, hand to God. It's the St. Patrick's Day special. Hand to God. Pride of Ireland. There's not a stinker in the bunch. I haven't watched one of these Liam Neeson movies, and I'm like, ooh, this really sucks. I watched them all. And you know what? They were all pretty good. Are some better than others? Yeah, of course. But it's like going to Subway. You go to Subway, you got a favorite sandwich. It's the Italian BMT, it's the tuna. You go, is it ever going to be better than it was last time? No. Is it ever going to be worse? Maybe, but it's the same thing. It's the same sandwich. It doesn't matter. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page about this. And look, there's no guilty pleasures. If you like something, that's fine. You like My Little Pony? It's fucking weird, okay? I think you're a creep. But if you're a brony or whatever the fuck they call those people, more power to you. As long as you're not taking people's baby dirters and putting them in the basement of the Hilton and taking their cherry, it's okay to be a brony. It's fine. At 56 years old, Liam Neeson had to become one of the biggest action stars of the world. It was insane. This guy's 56 years old. I'm 46 years old. Am I going to become an action star? I don't know. Maybe I'll start a Patreon. Maybe we make an action movie. That would be a crazy story. You see how that works? All right. Seriously, though. The last time that it happened was when Steven Seagal made his breakthrough film at 38 years old. Thank you. He made his breakthrough film at 38 years old with Above the Law, but he had never done movies, really. He worked with Sean Connery on some sword stuff for a couple of, but he wasn't like a star. But this is a guy who was a known actor since 1981, 30 years later into his career. And it's like, oh, who would have seen this? We're heading into territory that has never been seen before, where you have a commodified star who's been in gigantic movies like Star Wars movies. Yes, we talked about Star Wars. But he's now doing this action revenge thing, and it's a whole second chapter to this guy's career. This was an aging man who had seemingly become a world-class tough guy. Even though he had boxed and he did a whole bunch of stuff as a kid, look, this route that Liam Neeson took, oh my God. Who could have imagined? Who could have imagined? It wouldn't be an intermission if we didn't do a 5-star Spotify listener review. I told you, listen, if you give us some 5-star reviews, I will read them on the air. And here we are. This is from Anonymous 729. This is 2 months ago. First time listener, looked up Cocaine Disco, don't ask, looking for a podcast and stumbled upon this. I've never seen this movie, but thoroughly enjoyed the discussion of the cultural context, as well as the story about your pops and his sense of self-preservation, even if he was happy to sacrifice his genetic legacy. I'll definitely be checking out more episodes. Hey, listen, Anonymous 279, thank you. It's all love. You obviously found the Xanadu episode. Sick plug. And I gotta tell you, I'm digging what you're putting down. Glad you enjoyed it. Listen, I do this because I love movies. I do this because I love podcasts. And this is my way of giving back to the game. And at the end of the day, that's it, baby. That's all it's about. Do what you love and let it kill you, right? So, listen, this has been the St. Patrick's Day intermission. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. Oh, Fook Me, the Relentless Machine, Chapter 4 in the book of Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson still wants to be an actor, but everybody wants Liam Neeson to be Brian Mills from Taken. Do you know, listen, I don't even know if you know this, but a few years ago, NBC, which is basically now Peacock, has been doing, well, they did. It lasted 1 season. There was a Taken TV show. It was a fucking prequel. It was a fucking prequel with Liam Neeson. Well, it wasn't Liam Neeson. It was some younger. He was hunky. The guy was hunky. He plays Brian Mills. And it's like the whole way of like Brian Mills would meet the Famke Jensen character and fall in love. It was ridiculous. But he's a young CIA operative. And they tried to make it a thing. Oh, Taken on Peacock. Oh, but it wasn't Peacock. It was like Taken on NBC. Tune in. I love that. In the 70s and 80s, they would turn any piece of shit movie into a TV show. If it made money, you were getting a TV show, or like Grease had a bunch of them. You got like Happy Days. You got Shana Na Na Na. Is it Shana Na 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 or is it Shana Na Na Na? I don't know. You tell me. With that being said, you cash in on a TV show, you want, more movies, you have to do them. We got a business to run here, and the business is Liam Neeson, and we have to make more movies. So of course you're getting a Taken 2. We'll get to that, don't worry. But once you start getting past Taken 2 and we start really getting into the pristine years of the beginning of this whole action revenge journey, holy shit, that's when the tropes begin. Now, in every movie, Liam Neeson plays a similar character. There is an aesthetic and design in who he plays, down to the cable knit sweaters and the leather jackets. There's a style. Sometimes he wears dungarees, sometimes he wears khakis, but he's always Liam fucking Neeson. And generally, he's a salt of the earth, usually blue collar. He's usually a blue collar guy. He could be we'll get to that, but he could be a milkman. He works for a living. Okay, he's not a rich guy. Sometimes he's got a couple of bucks, and I'll tell you, in some of these movies, he's living his best life as a fat boomer who's got money and opportunity, and we're able to buy houses for $1.75. Now we're all fucked. I couldn't buy a cardboard box for $250,000. What the fuck is going on? Jesus Christ. Hey, listen, you fucking put Trump in office, you tell him he's got to fucking fix this. Because, hey, listen, DJT, promise is kept. Listen, this is not even political. You told us, you said to us, this is what I'm going to do. Fix the fucking economy. Aren't you a businessman or are you a reality star? Fix the fucking economy. Look, generally Liam Neeson plays a salt of the earth type of guy. He's a blue collar everyman. But make no mistake, there is an absolute formula to the films of Liam Neeson. He's generally a good guy. He might have made some mistakes, but he's got a good heart and an honest Irish American work ethic. And he's always very proud. He's always very proud to be from Ireland, or I'm very proud to be from the United States. I love living here in the United States, the greatest country in the world. Sometimes we have to explain why he's Irish, and sometimes we don't. This goes back to, I love this. This is Schwarzenegger. Why does he talk like this? Or Van Damme. And sometimes people with Van Damme would be like, well, his father, who's being played by Rance Howard in Universal Soldier. Yeah, Rance Howard is from Louisiana. Ron Howard's daddy is supposed to be a Cajun man. Okay, sure. Fuck it. It was the 90s. We were doing shit like that. So there has to be an explanation of why he's Irish, or there doesn't, because now we've gotten down to the 50-50 theory of Liam Neeson's career. And peep this, because that guy from The Daily Show might steal this. So here we go. Generally, he's an ex-cop or he's ex-military. 50-50 chance, either way. He may or may not be an alcoholic. 50-50 chance, maybe not. The characters Liam Neeson plays are essentially Shane in the old Western. Shane is a retired gunslinger who ends up protecting a farm. Now, this trope is very atypical of samurai films. The samurai has become a ronin, a sole lone wolf warrior who walks the earth trying to find their peace when their days end. The samurai or gunfighter always seeks peace. Ultimately, in order to stand up for the oppressed or the victim, he has to take up his sword, or in Liam Neeson's case, a gun. And this is to avenge or to protect the innocent people. But our character, our lone wolf, our samurai, our gunfighter, doesn't want to do that. They want to fall in love. They want to find peace. They want to raise their family. But something pulls them back. And that is when all of the tomfoolery and shenanigans really begin. It's when old Liam Neeson just starts fucking murdering people. He's a fucking 6'4" Michael Myers in some of these movies. He is stabbing people. It is gruesome as fuck. He has murdered, he's murdered people. And like you talk about, the kill counts of like Friday the 13th. Fuck Friday the 13th. Liam Neeson Jason would be like, oh Jesus, what did you just do to that guy? He's like, that was terrible. Now, even though we have to get through these 50-50 tropes, each film is an attempt to do something different with the formula. And that is why these films are so admirable, because each director is they have to stick to the formula. They have to make the Liam Neeson movie, but at the same time, they're like, can we stick a suspense vibe? Can we put a Hitchcock spin on this? Can we make this more of a moody thriller? Can we make it more of a 1970s cop thriller? And each director is able to kind of inject that style or whatever they're trying to convey. There's even one that's like a giallo. It's insane. It's an Italian, like an Italian horror movie. And I'm like, this is crazy, and it's a walk among the tombstones, and I'm like, but this kind of works. And that's another movie that's got a fantastic supporting cast. Now, granted, I know what you're going to say. In some ways, he's making the same movies over and over again. Yes, okay, you're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong, because you have that 50-50 chance of him doing this or that. And the way that they do that is it goes back to the old Chinese restaurant thing. It's column A and column B. Little of this, little of that. And we interchange it. We it's like the 3-card Monty on the street. We're shuffling the coconut and like, oh, so, but that's what he's doing. And it works. Look, if it didn't work, he wouldn't be just shooting another movie right now, which is insane. So the directors are allowed to play a little bit loose with the genre that the film is rooted in, and that works, because what it does is when you have Liam Neeson doing the same movie, but this time it's in Washington or this time it's in Italy, it's enough to be like, oh, I didn't see this one, but you did see this one. Where is this all going, Jerry? This leads me to my ultimate theorem, which is the Liam Neeson hamburger theory. Now, hear me out. A good hamburger is a good hamburger. It will never be filet mignon, but it's special in its own way, that it satisfies you in a way that no other food could. Now, generally, Liam Neeson is using the same beef. He's the beef. He's the old Irish beef, the pride of Irish beef. He is a big piece of beef. But each film is spiced up with a little bit of guacamole, a little bit of bacon, and, it's the same hamburger. It's like what McDonald's or Burger King does. It's a Whopper, it's a Big Mac, it is what it is. But we threw on some fucking crusties and we put in some pickles and wow, it's not a whole new thing. It's product. And Liam Neeson has figured out how to sell that product, adding just enough unique zest to set the other films apart from each other. And you know what? That's pretty fucking genius. And there's a workmanlike quality and craftsmanship that is rarely seen in most mainstream cinema. Liam Neeson's films are blue-collar cinema, because he figures out, like, he does all the big movies with the studios, but now he figures out, oh wait, I can get independent financing, finance and distribute these movies myself. Like, he has the Briarcliff Entertainment, which is his label. And he's like, oh, so we can pull the movie in for X, do this, and he's figured out the equation. So I don't have to give Universal the marketing budget. I don't have to give Universal a piece of the action. It all just goes back to me, Liam Neeson, where it belongs. He's like Scrooge McDuck. He's just Liam Neeson swimming in money, because that's what he did. And that is the DIY spirit. Okay, hear me out. Liam Neeson and DIY, again, blue collar aesthetic. He is making these movies just like somebody opens up a kitchen and makes you an omelet. He's like, oh, you came in. Okay, I make you, or you want a Western omelet? Here's a Western omelet, you cunt. And he puts the thing on there and it works. And that's what he's doing with these movies. And it's quite honorable, really. It makes Liam Neeson a very special actor, because he's pretty much just doing this for the audience. He's not going to get an Oscar for these films, but he's going to make a shit ton of money. Look, and again, this is a John Wayne, Jason Statham, Steven Seagal situation. They're there to see these films, to see the actor. We're checking in with Liam Neeson. Oh, have you seen Liam Neeson? Is he okay? Is he okay? You check in with him. And it's not even because you care about the character, it's because you have this personal investment with this actor. Now, regardless of the Oscar wins or his tremendous talent, the greatest role that Liam Neeson will ever play, it's himself. To me, that just makes him larger than life and adds to the fuel to the fire of the legend that is. At the end of the day, Liam Neeson films are just hamburgers. Sometimes they have different toppings, but always kind of the same thing. And for whatever reason, it works, and I'm not going to question it. Who am I to question the great Liam Neeson? Is it formula? Yes, but it works. There's a reason Coca-Cola and Red Bull are so popular to this day. They get the job done. And at the end of the day, isn't that all we can ask for? Why do we care? Well, the poster art, physical media packaging, and obviously streaming art. Can we call it streaming art? Whatever. They always feature the same facial expressions from Liam Neeson. Now, if you notice, go look at every single poster. Go look at them. Go ahead, George, if you want, put a few of them up on the screen. Neeson looks concerned or overwhelmed. He's a bit frightened. Like, as when you would see Schwarzenegger, Commando, or Stallone with Cobra and the gun. It's tough guy, I'm gonna fucking kill you. No. That's not what Liam Neeson does. Liam Neeson is a fucking genius. On the cover of all of these posters, he's like, and listen, I'm sorry, audio listeners, you can't see all this. You gotta watch the YouTube. But he looks frightened. He looks like he's in. I want to see Liam Neeson in an episode of Scooby-Doo. Oh, stop eating those fucking Scooby snacks, you gunt. But no, it's Liam Neeson, and he looks frightened. He's always like, he looks like he just saw the Three Ghosts, or oh my God, Liam Neeson in a Casper movie. You got like, oh, there's a fucking ghost in my house, but he's a little boy who died. He got polio, and it's very sad because everything the Irish do must be sad. Listen, you look at these posters and there's no cocky snarl or intimidating face. Like when Clint Eastwood, you see that mug and you're like, ooh, there's a sense of machismo and sexuality boiling beneath the surface. This is not the case with how Liam Neeson markets himself. And I'm telling you, listen, between me and you, he does this. He markets this to the fucking boomers because secretly the boomers are fucking scared of everything. And he's just there. He's, oh, Liam Neeson. Oh my God, the Riz. What does that mean? Where do I connect my phone? How is there internet? Can you listen, Lisa? I've been on the phone with you for 30 minutes. I have no internet. Oh, I've got to turn it on, do I? Okay, sorry. Hold on. Oh, fuck me. The lights just went. Lisa, are you there? No, in all seriousness, he markets this shit at the boomers, and they're just scared. They're scared of everything. And I get it. I'm getting old. I'm fucking scared. Most of the times I'm ready to call the cops. I used to hate the cops. I used to be NWA. I used to be fuck the police. Now I'm donate to the police. I'm like, oh, take my money. Take my money, you fucking pigs. Protect me, because I'm old now. I'm old and I can't get an erection. But you know what? Here's my money. Studios, whether it's the Commuter or Non-Stop, the big studio movies like Taken, there is a ferocity and anger we're using to sell the film. So when Liam Neeson strikes out on his own and he's using Briarcliff Entertainment to make these films, he realizes that his audience is largely built of older men and women. That's right, because he's got boomers. Just like Ludacris has hoes in different area codes. He's got them boomers. He looks puzzled and in some ways intimidated on these covers. He's like, oh, it's not even like, oh, I'm tough, I'm big tough guy Liam Neeson, I'm gonna shoot you. No, it's Liam Neeson. It's like, oh, where did I put my EpiPen? Is my EpiPen in the glove box? Oh no, I didn't bring it with me. Oh shit. That is the energy he's giving, and it fucking totally works in 2025. Now listen, the boomers, they're afraid of death more than ever, and probably coming to terms with who they truly are and worrying about their own children or their legacy. So there's an inherent fear for older people not understanding that the world has changed so much around them since they were young people. Fuck! I'm not even that old and I'm going through that. I look around sometimes, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I have no fucking idea. I just keep existing. It's almost like God keeps me alive out of spite at this point. In some fucking weird way, Liam Neeson's poster art captures all of these emotions, and it's a really interesting angle to sell these fucking dopey action films. And it works. What I'm telling you, listen to what I'm telling you. Liam Neeson is a blue-collar genius, okay? And he died for your sins. And he doesn't like black people. No, that's not true. My press agent. Now all of Liam Neeson's interviews are 5 to 7 minutes long because I did some research into that. And the reason was because he had this whole thing where someone had attacked one of his friends, and I think he had had a few drinks, and he was just like, oh, if I found that black bastard, I would have put the... But I didn't look into it. I looked at it. He's a fucking guy who's 60 years old. He's from... Do you know what fucking Northern Ireland's like? You think they even have black folks in Northern Ireland? I don't even know if people can get suntans. I don't know what goes on in Belfast. I'm just some fucking guy. Today I'm Irish, so you can kiss me. Tomorrow don't, because I won't be. No, look, it is what it is, quite literally. People fuck up, people say things. I've made mistakes. Should he be canceled? No, he shouldn't be fucking canceled, because here's the deal. He's a good dude. He does a lot of charitable shit. And at the end of the day, he was talking about an isolated incident. Did he call the guy a black bastard? Was he black? Was he a bastard? Yes. All right. Here are my top 5 Liam Neeson action thriller vehicles. These are the ones that I really enjoyed. Let's go from 6 to number 1. At number 6, we have The Ice Road. This was a Netflix film with him and Lawrence Fishburne. Really enjoyed it. It works. He has a retarded brother. Oops, no, he's not retarded. He has PTSD from the Iraq War. Okay, sure. To me, he seems retarded. I'm sorry that you had to do that, Liam Neeson. At number 5, we have Cold Pursuit. What if David Lynch made a fucking Liam Neeson movie? Cold Pursuit is about as close as you can get. It is weird. Someone kills Liam Neeson's son, and he is a snowplow driver. So it's funny. In the other one, he's driving on the ice. This one, he's plowing the snow. Listen, Liam Neeson, he's got to love the wintertime. But if you're looking for a cozy wintertime movie, you can go with Ice Road or Cold Pursuit. He avenges his son's death. It's very weird. Again, it has that David Lynch Twin Peaks vibe. Definitely fuck with it. At number 4, we have Honest Thief, which features Jai Courtney, who is a void of sadness that has caused me so much displeasure during the course of the offering. In Honest Thief, he's an honest thief. I know, it's ridiculous. Oh, it's me. I'm Liam Neeson, and I'm an honest thief. I'm not a bad guy. But that's really, we could call this movie, oh, it's Liam Neeson in I'm not so much of a bad... I do bad things, but I'm not a bad guy. And I think that's what he's trying to say with his whole career. But Honest Thief is pretty cool because he is essentially a guy who's been stealing, and he robs he robs everything, but he does it to kind of like bring these people to justice. I don't know. It works. It's fine. At number 3, In the Land of Saints and Sinners. This was the film that he shot in Belfast. It's a beautiful looking film. It's not as heavy on the action. This is more of a drama, but it's still Liam Neeson in the Irish countryside with a shotgun doing IRA shit. So if you want the most Irish fucking Liam Neeson movie you can get, if you want this to be your St. Patrick's Day film, In the Land of Saints and Sinners. At number 2, The Commuter. The Commuter was another Universal joint with Liam Neeson's big budget movie. You've got Sam Neill as Sam Neill is the villain. Patrick Wilson is in this. Yeah, obviously you have that Conjuring reunion with the Farmiga girl. It's not Vera. Is it Vera? Who cares? It doesn't matter. Regardless of that fact, it's a good movie. It's Hitchcock. The Commuter is the most Hitchcockian. Nonstop is as well. But The Commuter, for me, it works. They're on a train to Cold Spring Harbor. And I'm from Long Island, and I've taken the Long Island Railroad. And obviously it's cool because I get to see that, or a facsimile of its cinematic equivalent. And it works for me. At number 1, It's Taken. The reason with Taken that it works, even though it's so fucking stupid, I've got to protect my baby daughter. It works. We're invested. We're there with him. He's scared. So you have this super badass who's actually scared. And listen, I've watched a lot of films, but if you want to see Albanian people get murdered, Taken's your choice. With that being said, what is the future of this? Well, we're going to get to that in a minute, but we're going to go through the movies really quick. All right, so here we go, folks. I'm going to break it down. Got my old Grampy glasses. I got my Google device thing. It's an iPhone. Fuck off. Taken. He does Taken in 2008. He's in the Chronicles of Narnia. Oh my God. Oh, it's me, Liam Neeson. I'm the fucking lion. He's in Ponyo. That's a Miyazaki film. He does voice. He's in a film called The Other Man. Don't know. That's a secret movie. He does a voice in Fallout 3. He's in a film called 5 Minutes of Heaven, which is another drama. He does Chloe. Chloe's a good movie. He's in Afterlife. Ooh, Clash of the Titans. See, I don't count Clash of the Titans. I don't count the A-Team. I enjoy the A-Team, the TV show adaptation, whatever it was. He's in the Big C. He's in fucking TV shows. The Chronicles of Narnia. The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. I don't know. Is that a secret movie? Oh, here we go. It's 2011, and he's back with Unknown. What's the movie about? It's Unknown. He does a TV movie called A Child's Garden of Poetry. That was a production for Ireland. Life's Too Short. Another TV show that he was on for 3 years. Who fucking knew? He did The Grey. That's Liam Neeson versus wolves. He did Battleship with Rihanna, and you did not need your Ella for that movie because it kind of sucked. He was in The Dark Knight Rises. He does the Force Ghost thing. He's like, oh, it's me, Deckard. Bruce Wayne, what you need to do is start watching your cholesterol, because that's not what that was. And then after that, he does Taken 2. Sequel town, baby, because there was no plan for a Taken 2. They did not plan Taken 2, so he was like, all right, check this out. I'm gonna need like double the money and a piece of the back end, and they were like, oh, we'll fucking do that for you, Liam. He does Anchorman 2. I think he's always good, but he's always good in comedic stuff. He does The Nut Job. He's a raccoon in The Nut Job. He does Nonstop, which is him. It's Julianne, what's her name? Julianne Huff. No, it's not Huff. She's the one in Boogie Nights. What's her name? Julianne Moore. Thank you, producer Pete. He's in the Lego Cop as bad cop, good cop, bad cop. He's actually very good in the Lego movie. He's Qui-Gon Jinn in the Clone Wars cartoon. It's Qui-Gon, I'm sorry. Producer Pete has come in and told me that I'm a moron. There's a documentary on Manny Pacquiao. It's very good. It's called Manny. He narrates that. He's like, oh, let me tell you about Filipino boxing. If there's one man who... it's him. It's Liam Neeson. A Million Ways to Die in the West. He plays a villain. He does another, oh my God. He does another animated film, but this time it's an Indian film called Khalil Gibran's The Prophet. He did a short. This was the thing. He wants to save the New York City carriage horses, so he submitted a short to the mayor of New York in 2014, and he's like, we need to save this tradition. I like seeing animals get abused. It gets my willy hard. He does Walk Among the Tombstones. Definitely recommend that one. He does Taken 3. Taken 3 might be the worst of all. It is the worst of all. It's terrible. It's a terrible, terrible film. Don't even go there. I think they said all they had to say with the first Taken. Even in the second Taken, he's calling the daughter, and she's like, what's going on, Dad? He's like, me and your mother, we've been taken. And that's basically that. He's been on Family Guy. He's appeared on like almost 30 episodes, which is fucking insane. He was on Entourage. He was in Ted 2. He was in The Huntsman, Winter's War. Wow. I forgot they made a sequel to that. Holy shit. Look, it just keeps going and going. He's been on the Orville. Look, I could look at this all day. He's done a shit ton of movies. He's done a shit ton of action films. But at the end of the day, he's Liam fucking Neeson. And the world needs Liam Neeson. Why? Because heroes never go out of style. That's the point here, folks. The world needs Liam Neeson because the world needs heroes. And that is exactly what he is. In times of darkness, in times of uncertainty in our life, regardless of what's going on politically, socially, or emotionally, Liam Neeson's going to be there for you. You feel bad about something that happened in your life? Someone hit your car in a parking lot? Well, Liam Neeson's going to take care of that. He's going to find out who hit your car. He's going to track them down. And he's going to fucking murder them. Because that's what Liam Neeson does. And that's kind of why I love Liam Neeson.
Could you use a little weather scoop, by the way? Are you wondering about the sun or the clouds today? There's just one man who has the say. Who else but the weatherman?
And here's the latest weather report. Overcast and warmer.
So, you found yourself at the Offering Liam Neeson special. Okay. It's St. Patrick's Day. He has a few projects dropping this year. Now, I had sent the script to producer Pete, but unfortunately, because Liam Neeson, again, it's like he owes somebody. Maybe it's the Albanians. Shit, he really those people. They got him, huh? So this summer he's got The Naked Gun, which is being directed by Lonely Island, Akiva Schaffer. This looks good. They're doing some test screenings. Pamela Anderson is doing the Priscilla Presley role. The test screenings have been going really good. I'm hoping they're dropping it in the middle of summer. I could go for a big summer comedy. I love the Naked Gun films. This is a perfect trajectory. And if this happens, this would create not just the second career for Liam Neeson, but a third career. Because it was one of those things like Leslie Nielsen started. He was a serious actor. He was always a straight man. He was like, oh, we've got to save these people. That was his whole shtick. So if Liam Neeson is able to breach that and then becomes this big comedic actor, hey, listen, man, he's untouchable in my book. Hammer time, baby. He has another movie called Cold Storage coming out. Oh, the reason that I'm reading this is because he just can't stop. The man cannot stop working. Guess what? He did another film that he's got in production right now called The Ice Road 2, Road to the Sky. Are they going to take those ice road trucks and drive them into the moon? I hope they do. I would love to see that. Dude, Liam Neeson as a trucker in space? I don't know. I think you're onto something there, Jerry. Keep smoking that weed. See what happens. You're a disappointment to this family. Hotel Tehran, which is another action thriller. He's even doing a kids movie called Four Kids Walk Into a Bank. And there's production stills. Like this isn't like, oh, he's going to do these movies in a few. No. They're in the can. This is in the can. Who knows what he's got in the clip? We don't know. So we start doing this special, right? And 22 hours ago, starring a diverse and talented ensemble cast led by Liam Neeson, Marissa Tomei, Ving Rhames, and Michael Chiklis, the action thriller The Mongoose centers on respected war hero Ryan Fang Flanagan. Come on. Oh, it's me, Ryan the Fang Flanagan. And I've got a special breed of they call me the Mongoose. I thought they called you Fang. Oh, no. The title of the film is Mongoose. I'm Fang. Okay, all right. I am not having a conversation. I do have conversations with Liam Neeson in my head, but so after being accused of a brutal crime he didn't commit, I mean, come on. What did you think this movie was going to be about? He was going to talk about fucking fracking or like, some kind of like global. No, that's not what he does. What he does is somebody's been murdered. He's going to figure it out. They're going to go cross country. Listen, I'm happy to see him with Marissa Tomei. That's age appropriate, right? That's age appropriate lady for him to be hooked up with. And I love to see her working. Ving Rhames, love him. Love Chiklis. Look, at the end of the day, Liam Neeson truly is a blue collar hero. He truly is what this country, maybe, listen, Ireland's lovely, but in the United States, we have a tradition of working hard and chasing your dream and being a place where immigrants come to chase their dreams. And I got news for you. Liam Neeson came at those American dreams with a vengeance, and it has paid off tenfold. His legacy is cemented. I mean, there's not really much more to say. There's not much more for Liam Neeson to do. You know, like, could he do another role and win an Oscar? Yeah. I'd rather see him doing this Naked Gun stuff and making people laugh. We've had fun and we've taken a piss with Liam Neeson, but really at the end of the day, this is an entertainer. And if he's able to get into this third part of his career where he's making people laugh, I say Godspeed. I really do think that he is that good. And that's why all of this works. And I'll say it again, especially on St. Patrick's Day, especially for the people of Ireland, especially for the people of the United States. The world is a better place with Liam Neeson. So yes, the world needs Liam Neeson, and the world needs dumb revenge action thrillers where he may or may not be a cop, he may or may not be an alcoholic, but he's always a hero. In closing, I give you a quote about our president from Liam Neeson. Democracy works, and no man, certainly not the president, is above the law. He has to be accountable for his actions. From your lips to God's ears, Liam. From your lips to God's ears. I'm Jerry Horror. This has been The Offering. Mostly horror, always genre.
This has been a Sick Boy Wolfgang production. Thank you for listening.